Hi everybody, welcome to our first mukbang.
Today we're going to be eating fried pickles, the cream spinach, bacon bites, and the ultimate hot crab dip. We're also going to be examining the Aaron Hernandez case.
All aboard!
Shoot, shoot!
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Now, let's eat.
I'm going to start with this crab dip. I'm just going right in for it. I already got my little bite ready and everything.
I can see it. How come I don't have a pre-bit bite?
I hope it won't be pre-bit.
Yeah, true, that would be kind of interesting. I was stuck with these pickles. I was waiting to see how they would taste out.
Alright, so what we talking about today, baby?
We are talking about Aaron Hernandez. He was a former New England Patriot and a tight end. He was convicted of murdering his close friend, Odin, in 2013.
Okay.
Odin was shot several times, and his body was found near Hernandez's home. But the thing is, it's not the first time Hernandez was tried for murder.
Oh, okay, wait. Before we get into that, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so Aaron Joseph Hernandez was born November 6th in 1989 in Bristol, Connecticut. Hernandez was reportedly abused as a child, as was his mother and his older brother. Hernandez remembers his mother throwing his father out a lot of times and then bringing him back into the household.
Yeah. So Hernandez's father, Dennis, that's some good crap, dude. He ruled their home with an iron fist. A lot of people in their area called him King. He kind of projected an image of somebody that had been, like, maybe in a lot of trouble at one point in their life, but started to get better and becoming more of a part of society again. There was reports at one time that both his parents, his mother and his father, had been arrested. The father had been put in jail for accusations of buying cocaine, and his mother was something along the lines of they thought she was like a bookie running some type of booking type scheme coming from her house.
Oh yeah, it was an underground sports gambling thing.
I guess underground sports game. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
Despite Hernandez and his father's really rough relationship, his dad was a very integral and big part in his life.
Yeah, he was basically the glue that held them together. Okay, so Aaron played football at Bristol High. He also ran track and was a great basketball player. In high school, this is where he met his sweetheart, Shayana? Yeah, Shayana Jenkins, right?
Shayana.
Yeah,
They call her
Shayana.
Shay.
Yeah, Shay. Shay. This is where he met Shay. In 2006, he took a really hard hit to the head. It was so hard that he actually blacked out. The EMTs had to take him off the field. He was actually playing football, and he was hit so hard he blacked out, and the EMTs had to take him off the field.
Yeah, I think that was the very first time that he really...
I don't know if it was the
seemed
first,
like they made it seem like it was the first time he really got
it was a really
jarred.
hard hit. Like, he was out.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, when he was 16 years old, his father passed away. He was having a routine hernia surgery, and he passed away. So from that moment on, Hernandez was kind of in a downward spiral from there on.
That's probably the start of the downfall, actually.
Yeah, he became estranged from his mother, and he started hanging out with his cousin more, Tanya Singleton.
I'm gonna go with Tanya.
Tanya?
Yeah, Tanya seems to be
T-A-N.
more of,
I don't know.
seems to be more the area that I go. But Tanya was Aaron's cousin with all the stuff going on at his parents, well, now it's just his mother and his mother's house. He spent a lot of time over there. She was basically like another mother to him.
Mm-hmm.
She was a little bit older than he was. It was a very interesting part through his life, kind of from 16 on, that she played. So during the time that Aaron was with Tanya, it said that this was when a lot of unsavory, some like bad characters got into his life.
Mm-hmm.
He was partying a lot, he was drinking a lot.
Mm-hmm. Drugs, all that.
Yeah, it was just
wild stuff.
Yeah, he was going through it at the time.
Alright, so at 16, after Hernandez's father passed, he was actually able to go to college earlier. He originally was going to go to UConn, but for some reason he decided to go to the University of Florida. Now, trouble seemed to follow Hernandez and he went to Florida. He actually was underage in a club drinking one night, and he decided that he didn't have to pay his tab. The waiter was asking him, just simply pay your bill, bro. And he punched the waiter so hard in his ear that he burst his eardrum. How do you, how? Like,
I guess he caught him in the right spot.
I don't know. I don't know how ears work like that. I know you hear with them. I don't know.
I just don't get why you'd be going to a bar, you're in college, you think all of a sudden that, oh yeah, I can just go and drink. I can just go enjoy myself.
But
I'm sure they'll take the tab for me.
But he played football though, so that's the difference. Like in those little towns like that, football is king. Football is everything. If you're on the team, then you can get away with murder. Wait. Wait.
might be another title for something down the line. But yeah, but he still wasn't at that level yet. I mean, he was just starting out.
But he was
still a good player, but he still was proving himself.
And the manager or waiter, whoever it was, didn't press charges. I wonder if he was pressured to not press charges.
That's probably being a football player came in handy for him.
Or if he just decided, it's not the big of a deal. He wasn't supposed to be drinking anyway. I don't know. Could have been either or both. I don't know.
True. Also in that same year, there was another shooting, but the victim got away. And Aaron allegedly fit the description they had for the shooter.
Allegedly, people. Allegedly, he fit the description.
They thought it was him. They wasn't sure. He just got down there, just in Florida, and
he was wilding out in Florida, man. 2
big incidents that happened, and he ended up, getting away with both of them. But so,
like, I get football is a big deal. It's $1 million company, especially in those type towns. But I mean,
thank you.
But I mean, like, could this have been avoided if someone stepped up and checked Aaron? Like, dude, you need to chill out. You can't be doing all this crazy stuff. You need to focus on your game and get yourself together. Like, do you think this would have happened?
I think that was one of the big areas where things kind of started messing up with him, but I don't know if he didn't have a close enough knit group of people
to check him,
or somebody that he could really rely on that was, that was really good, because he had a lot of stuff going on. So I mean, it's just like, dude just lost his father. That's the first thing. You're going to a new school, you're going to a new area when you don't know anybody, and it can already be complicated enough when you're just moving somewhere, and then now you're moving somewhere, you're moving for school, you don't know the people, you still got to prove yourself on the field. So I mean, there's just like a lot of stuff that's going on. So I mean, I think if he did have somebody there to kind of, like you said, check him,
just like pull him, sit down somewhere.
Yeah,
chill out, bro.
If he had that, then I mean, it probably would have been a little bit different. But I mean, I don't know if he just didn't have mentors or who his mentors were. But yeah, he's just really something he was just well known. It was like one thing that I read was like he was getting high all the time. Like that was his thing. Like before he played, he was high. When it was done, he just kept going to get high.
But he might have had to though, like, cause football is like obviously it's a impact sport. So if he's getting hit constantly all the time, he's been playing football since high school or like younger.
Yeah.
Like he might have been in pain, so he might have needed it. Cause he also was taking Toradol, which is like a painkiller that they like inject you with. So I mean, maybe he needed it.
I mean, he might have needed something, but I mean, there's better ways of getting that. I mean, there's things that can be done for you.
Yeah.
I was like, they were talking about he was just on he was working, what was it, when he was in college, when he was working like 40 to 60 hours. They were making it seem like just practicing, trying to get his routines down, and working hard with that.
And like it paid off. He made it to the NFL, but
I'm not sure though.
at what cost?
I mean, in this case.
His body and brain.
Well, yeah, his brain, which they later found out, which could be like a very big part to why he was kind of doing the kind of stuff he was doing. Maybe not the drugs initially, but where he was kind of going ahead and doing his just making some bad irrational decisions.
Ooh, I want to try the bacon bite with the crab dip. I think that would taste like.
Go for it. I don't see why it wouldn't be good.
Wait. Okay, get back to the story. What happened in 2012?
Yeah. Okay, so where were we at?
2012.
So in 2012, allegedly, Hernandez murdered 2 guys. It seems like as he progressed, like his numbers are adding up. He went from hitting 1 person to now possibly killing 2. But it was for spilling a drink on him in the club. Like I guess he was
that was crazy.
in there and then like got a little bit of something on him. It's like now that's the reason to want to murder somebody. But I don't know. But Tanya Singleton, this is where she comes back into the story.
Hernandez's cousin.
Yeah.
Like my mom told me.
Yeah, earlier. She hid the vehicle that Aaron was allegedly driving. Allegedly. Yeah, this is like allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
On there, I don't know, but allegedly.
He was driving when he murdered the 2 men. The car had been found in the garage. It had been there for, 2 years?
Maybe a year, a little over a year.
Okay, so a little bit over a year.
Yeah. But you know, the crazy thing is, Tanya was like, ride or die. It's not crazy. It's good that she was loyal, but she had stage 4 breast cancer. It had metastasized. It was all over her body. She took the stand, and she would not turn on Aaron at all. She was just like, I'm not saying nothing. They asked her questions. She wouldn't answer the questions, and she ended up going to jail for a bit. And it actually messed her up because she was taking chemo at the time. So by her being in jail, obviously she was missing treatment. And I think that might have actually led to her death.
I mean, because I think at that point she had already lost all her hair.
Because of the chemo, she was already on chemo.
Yeah, the chemo had taken away. A lot of the pictures they showed were her with her hair wrapped up. Yeah, I mean, if there's something you need and you can't get it, where I don't see why, whether she did something wrong or not, whether she wanted to give up her, her cousin. I mean, you still can't withhold the treatment or the cure from somebody. That's a whole nother thing right there.
But I guess the cost for them to bring all that equipment to her or to transport her to the hospital would be like a lot of money. Like, who's paying for that? Taxpayers have to pay for it? Like, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole
a whole other can of worms.
Another just thing with it, but
free healthcare, sorry.
But
next.
Well, yeah. Nice. So, now it brings us to the big case, what he was charged for. In 2013,
The first one.
the first one. In 2013, Odin Lloyd was murdered. He was shot 6 times.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, going back, Odin Lloyd was the boyfriend of Aaron Hernandez's fiance's sister. That is so confusing to me. So you have Aaron Hernandez and you have Shayana Jenkins. They were dating. Shayana's sister was dating Odin Lloyd. Does that make? I don't know if that probably just made it worse. I don't know. But yeah, that's who he was. Odin and Hernandez would hang out in Hernandez's basement and smoke weed all day. They were close. They were friends.
Really making a mess. Yeah, I had said that they played video games, smoking drunk. It was just like the chill area.
Yeah. And Odin also was a semi-professional football player. Yeah. Semi-professional football player. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't know why he was shot. They don't really have a motive, even to this day. Like, they never said why.
Yeah, they never gave a
Official reason why.
Yeah, like a clear-cut reason. One of the things that I read was it was supposedly, I guess it's all speculation now, but supposedly there was 2 different incidents that had happened. One of Hernandez's houses, I guess it was an apartment that he had or still had aside from his house. He had like guns, I think it was in there, and for some reason Odin found out about it or saw them there, and just seeing them or knowing, I guess, that he had them made Hernandez mad. I didn't quite get it, but that was one of the things that I heard. That
I have no idea.
that was one of the incidences that I heard was something that triggered him. The other thing that I read was the second incident was they were in some type of nightclub or something like that. And Odin was talking to 2 men that were there. I don't know why that would have set him off either. But I also don't know what the conversation was or the vibe in the room or what was going on at the time either.
Now, I got some theories, but I'm not going to share them here.
I was going to say what?
So I'm not going to share them here.
I don't have any theories.
Cut the camera for those. But I got some theories. Next.
That should be something right there.
What?
If you want to hear some of her theories, make sure you subscribe. And if we get enough
likes and
subscriptions, yeah,
Hear all my theories.
then we might hear some of them theories.
I got some theories, babe. I got a theory for everything.
All good.
It's just water in here, by the way, too. Don't confuse the giggle. It's just water. It's water. It's just water.
Water.
And my mom's got me a cup. But it's just water.
Water. But, yeah, those are just 2 theories that I heard. Because there's been no real good reason as to why he went ahead and did what he
But some people were
did,
saying that Odin knew about the previous murders that Hernandez committed. So that was why he killed him. Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, really.
But I mean, that makes just as much sense as what I was saying, because why would he have known about him unless it was something that Hernandez had told him?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he got really high one night and confessed to him. I don't know. I don't know how he reacts when he's high. I don't know. Could have been anything. Alright, shortly after Odin was murdered, Hernandez was arrested. And it kind of went viral. But not just because of murder, but because of crazy people that wanted to emulate him, basically.
Yeah, it was a, y'all probably have seen it by now.
Yeah.
If you haven't, we'll put the picture up there. But it was the scene of Aaron
Hernandez is what they call it, I think.
I think something like that. But you see the picture of him in this nice, beautiful mansion, and the cops are bringing him out, but he, I guess, didn't have a shirt on or whatever initially, but they handcuffed him, and instead of letting him put a shirt on, they took the shirt. I think it was like a short.
Well, they let him put a shirt on. They just
put it over top of him.
After they handcuffed him, then they put the shirt over. He didn't have his arms through his shirt, basically.
Yeah, but I'm saying they would have to put it over him when they handcuffed him. So that's the big picture, and a lot of people, it blew up, and people didn't think it was right. I mean, I don't understand why they had to do it that way. I mean, they could have just. I mean, I'm pretty sure even if he ran, he wasn't gonna get that far. I mean, but.
Well, I mean, was he a tight end? He was a tight end, so I'm pretty sure he was kind of strong. He could have got somewhere.
Yeah, but they were all numbers, so. Tight ends eventually get tired, so.
I don't know.
Yeah. But, yeah, but anyway, you see him coming out and behind the back with his shirt on.
So yeah, he was arrested, and that whole thing went viral. Then, when it came to trial, the thing that stood out to me, we were watching the Inside the Mind of a Killer on Netflix, and they were saying that Odin's mom wasn't allowed to show any emotion when she testified. That irked me so much. Like, why? Why can't she get on stage? Not on stage. Why can't she get on the stand and cry if she wanted to? She had to literally look at a photo of her dead baby, her dead son, and she wasn't allowed to show emotion. Why? Like, why? That made me so upset. Like, she should be able to cry if she wants to. And how she sat there poised and answered the questions, I have no idea how she did it. But she just exuded so much strength and just, oh, wow. I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Yeah, it was crazy she was able to do that. But speaking of their, the documentary or docu-series or whatever you want to call it, they have, one of the things that kind of stood out to me, or another thing I guess I could say that I didn't get about it, was the whole thing with Kraft. Now, Kraft is the owner of the Patriots. I can't remember what his first name is.
Robert Kraft, I think? I might have just made that up. I don't know.
I can't remember. I think it was.
Just call him Kraft. Who knows what he's talking about?
Yeah. But Kraft is the owner of the Patriots. But they were showing the court scenes of, him during the proceedings and most of it. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Aaron wasn't really showing much emotion. He was kind of like facing forward. It wasn't like a whole lot of anything. Yeah, like people were talking about things that he did, where they seen him at, the different witnesses came in. Yeah, talking about what he did through all of it. But what they wanted to show is when Kraft came in, or when they knew he was about to take the stand. When they said he was going to come in, he was like... He kept like looking over. I think they said he did it like maybe six times. Yeah. And he just kept looking over and kept looking over, and just like, and that was like the most emotion that he showed in that particular part of the
that, and when he said bye to his baby girl.
Well, yeah, that too.
Those are the only two times that he like.
But like I don't know, I didn't get why he was making a big thing of crap.
I got a theory.
Here she goes with her theories again. But I didn't know if it was either because of he looked at Kraft like maybe a paternal thing going on, like maybe he had looked at a father figure, or maybe Kraft knew some stuff, possibly that he did, or because, and here's another thing I'm gonna get to with it. They were basing a lot of his indictment, the actual case that they were holding against him, from some of the stuff that Kraft said. But I also don't get why he remembered the timeline the way
wait. You going too far. Wait, back up. What? First of all, Kraft Is he a billionaire or
Yeah, he's a
millionaire?
billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, that's why they was listening to him. First of all, first of all, because he could buy the whole court and sell it a few times. But I think Kraft knew what was going on because they showed a clip where Hernandez was. I don't think he was necessarily on the run, but he hadn't been arrested yet, and he went to talk to Kraft. So I wonder if during that time of him talking to him, if he confessed, if he asked for help or something, and that's why he was looking back when Kraft came in like, what is he about to say? That's what I think.
I mean, everywhere that he went, whether it had been when he first went down to Florida, really getting out of high school, when he went to play for the Patriots, every stage they kind of knew that he was, I don't know, a lot to deal with, or he was a troubled individual.
Yeah.
But he was a really good football player.
Talented, exactly.
Yeah, so another one of the people that played a big part in the story was Tim Tebow. He met him when he was in Florida. Tim was kind of trying to help him out, you know, trying to get him on the right path with things. That didn't really work. Yeah, so I guess when he got to the Patriots, you know, Tim was the quarterback for the Gators at the time. I guess it kind of like the baton was passed to now Brady. So I guess he thought that, okay, everybody knew it was trouble, but now maybe they assumed that they could have possibly helped him out. But
can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. They gotta want it for themselves first. Then you can offer the help. It's the sad thing about it.
I'm sure, but it seemed like other than that, the known fact that he had a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, so I mean, that was probably the common. And it seemed like his team members on the Patriots and then him didn't quite get along with each other the greatest. He, you know, the Patriots have a very strict, you know, focus to win type mentality, regardless of what you think about it. Yeah. They
win. They some winners. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's like with football or well, any sport has their own particular, you know, level or goal to reach. But with football being the only thing that at the end of the day that really matters, it comes down to is if you have your Super Bowl rings. And
yeah,
you know,
they have quite a few.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to 2017 now. So he had already been convicted of first-degree murder for the Odin case, and now it was the case that was pending for it was the murder of the two guys.
Yeah, 2 men. I don't remember their names, but
in
the one that spilled the drinks.
Yeah. So the case that we were talking about earlier in 2012.
Yeah.
Probably the whole thing with Odin, kind of speculation. The whole thing with Odin and enabled them to dig a little bit further and them finding the car, which
that's actually the only reason they found it. Because of Odin Lloyd's case, that's when they found the car that he was driving to allegedly murder these 2 men at that club.
Okay, I guess that was the reason. So that brings us to that case. So for this particular case, there was a lot of family members. It seemed like for the 2 guys that was the 2 guys that were murdered, like it seemed like the entire family came out like every day during the case.
Which is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because the jurors see that. They know, like, okay, this had an impact on a lot of people. And I think that was really smart for them to do.
Oh, yeah. It was good. But the second go around, he had a really good lawyer. So even though they showed numbers, they, you know, whenever they did their thing, he still wasn't considered, I guess, acquitted of
I don't know. I just know he was found not guilty. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the terminology. He was found not guilty.
Okay, so the second case then, he was just he was found not guilty.
Yeah.
And
but the crazy thing is, like, to hear his lawyer and his fiance talk, Aaron was in good spirits. You know, he was excited that he won that case, and he was gonna try to appeal his other case that he lost. But
he was very emotional too at the end of the
Yeah.
second case, like compared to the way he was in the Odin case,
Yeah.
compared to this one. By the end of it, when he realized that he was not guilty, he just broke out in tears and you know, sang and everything like that.
And then he turned around and flew like a kiss to his baby girl. It was so sad.
Yeah. But that brings us to the after the case.
Yeah.
He
In April, he committed suicide. So.
him committing suicide. So in the state of Massachusetts, they have a law that's a form of, was in the pavement?
They had a law. Actually, it's not. I don't think it's active anymore. But basically,
Well, yeah, but I mean, during his time.
yeah,
they
if
had the
you
law.
die during it, when you have an open case, basically, then you're found not guilty automatically. It's thrown out, basically.
Mhm.
So some people think that's why Aaron killed himself, so that he would be found not guilty of both of those trials, and then his family would get the rest of his money for his $40 million contract with NFL, basically.
True. And for somebody not to be a lawyer, she remembered that well.
I feel like I should have been a lawyer.
Oh, you should have been a lawyer.
Because I will argue a point down.
Oh, she should've.
But seriously though, if anyone out there is having suicidal thoughts, call 1-800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Hotline. Don't ever feel like you're alone. Please talk to someone that you trust. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody should. There's enough people in the world, and there's enough stuff going on that nobody should feel alone.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things too with Hernandez, that he just kept feeling alone. I mean, from the
Throughout
kid.
his life.
Yeah. Dad died, mother's not there, his brother's off doing other things, and he just kept feeling like he just didn't have anybody. Alright, so, in this crab dip is amazing. Again, why it's called the ultimate crab dip. Not just because we named it that, because
Can
we're
you
awesome,
focus?
but it's really good.
Focus.
I've been eating on it.
CTE. Not
yeah.
crab dip. CTE.
Yeah. But yeah, so that brings us to the point of one of the things that after he had allegedly killed himself, they took his brain and they did some testing and looking into it and everything like that, and they saw that he had CTE, which is
I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm gonna put it along here. What it stands for. CTE. I guess it'll be this way. I don't know. Whatever. It'll be in this area. But yeah, basically it affects the brain. Basically with CTE, it causes memory loss, impulsivity, you're super aggressive, you have mood swings, all this crazy stuff goes on with this disease basically.
Yeah.
And like Hernandez's case of it was so advanced, like it was almost like a person that would have been in like maybe their 50s or 60s would have had it that far advanced, but he was only like 27 and he had that severe a case of CTE. It's like, good Lord, like how many times was this child hit in the head?
Oh, a lot. I mean, he took a lot of hits, but that was the other thing too. It's just like those symptoms that you just named were things that, if you look at his life throughout it, from when he started playing football, it was, you know, kind of building up. So I mean, a lot of those things, his aggressiveness, because he was aggressive on the field and seemingly off the field too. And then like sporadic decisions. So even if he did murdered the guy. I mean, technically it's sporadic. There didn't need to be a real reason for that happening. But
that's a crazy part.
you know, but that can lead us to our first question. Do you think that CTE had any effect on, or had a big enough effect on, to have caused him to,
Caused him to what though? To kill all those people? To act the way he acted?
to act the way he did? Like,
Y'all gotta let us know in the comments. Do you think that CTE is that big of a deal? Like, can it really be blamed for all the stuff that he did? Or is it just a cop-out? Some people think it's just a cop-out.
yeah, I've heard people say it was a cop out, but when we'll put the picture of the regular brain, I guess at that age, as well as what his looked like.
Yeah.
So you can see for yourself, because it is a bad step. So you see like a big mark and stuff, like hole in it. It was kind of bad, but I mean, I think you take that. Me personally, I think if you take that and you compound that with the fact that he had a very rough upbringing, and I mean, there's, you know.
And his dad died when he was young.
Yes, I mean, the CTE by itself may not affect certain people a certain way, but then when you compound the other stuff on there, then I mean, it's still not an excuse for it, but just to make it more sensible.
I think that also in the fact that he probably felt untouchable too. Because by him playing football, he got away with everything. Like you saw in Florida, punched a guy in the ear, didn't get in trouble for it. He was underage drinking, like.
And places that he went into, you know, it was underage.
Yeah.
Drinks,
Yeah. So like that, like you feel like you can get away with it anyway. You have a brain defect. And you're hurting and going through something. I mean, it's kind of like the perfect storm. Like, wow.
Yeah, so that's just more stuff that would be compounding on the things.
Yeah.
But, so that brings us to, that would be the first question. So make sure you put your comments on the bottom.
Start the discussion now, y'all. It's
Yeah,
open forum.
we'll probably put the questions up there too as we go through them. But that brings, so this brings me to the second question. Now, it's not a new story necessarily. We didn't go, we did a lot of research on this stuff. We didn't go through
half of the stuff we found.
Yeah, this is a lot of stuff that we left out. Not to mention being the first one, we weren't going to get too gory. And some of the
we want to scare y'all away.
Yeah, come back and see the next one.
Yeah, it'll get progressively more gory,
Yeah.
I guess.
But
when we do, because we're gonna do a bunch of different topics.
We'll have a lot of topics and everything like that. But the second question is, what were some of the things that you may have read, and what are some of your insights? How does the story make you feel? Leave us some comments below, letting us know your opinion on it, and you know, what you thought may have happened, you know, any of those things like that.
Do you think football should be such a big deal in those towns? Because like he got away with everything, so he felt like he was untouchable. Do you feel if the climate was different towards football, things would be different? Also with CTE, like, get out of here. With CTE, like, I mean, how many other people have it? Like, they need to be screened. I think football players need to be screened. They need to be scanned once a year for it or something. I don't know. Alright, y'all. So, if there are any other topics you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments below.
I knew it would eventually make it on something.
Yes. Let us know in the comments below.
You have to watch our other video, I should say. I was going to say vehicle. You have to watch our other video.
Yeah, check out our vlog. Fail. Check out that one.
On the Adore channel.
Yeah.
And then you'll get what I'm talking about.
And make sure you subscribe to this channel and the Dash of Real Estate. You need to subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks.
Yeah. But the topics that you pick, it can be anything. I mean, you know. Yeah, it could be mysteries. I mean, it could be foods that you want us to try. It could be recipes that you want to see.
It could be political, it could be whatever.
Historical. It could be, you know, whatever that comes to your mind. Just let us know, and you know, we can't say that we'll do all of them, but we'll, you know, read, respond, and pick some stuff.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, whatever. I want to thank y'all for watching.
Remember, I have theories.
She has theories.
It's gonna be a thing. Watch. It's gonna be a thing. Bye.
Bye.